Hello America, this is Kenny with Keep Arkansas Legal. A few days after the majority of Americans celebrate Christmas, the nation will begin the process of deciding the President of the United States in the form of primary elections. Many presidential candidates have portrayed themselves as a president with Christian compassion who will also be tough on illegal immigration. But how does a Christian leader deal with illegal immigration? Ignoring the statements made by politicians and the opinion of a mostly anti-Christian media, we must first and foremost see what the Bible says.
Luke chapter 14, verse 13 and 14. But when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed. Although they cannot repay you, you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteousness. Luke 10, 33 through 35. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came to where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, took him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 silver coins and gave them to the innkeeper. Look after him, he said, and when I return I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have.
Notice the part where the government is to raise taxes to help the poor? Of course not. The Bible's statements to help the poor are directed to individuals to give of themselves, not to tax others. Let's see more of what the Bible says about helping the poor.
But one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, who was later to betray him, objected. Why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages. He did not say this because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. As keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put into it. Leave her alone, Jesus replied. It was intended that she should save this perfume for the day of my burial. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me. John 12, 4 through 8.
In the time of Jesus, just as today, there are many people who help the poor to benefit themselves and their agendas. We have seen this before from those who demand we pay more into corrupt welfare programs and anti-Christian schools that continue to fail. Many in the illegal alien agenda claim to help the poor so that they can advance the ideas of multiculturalism, Axland, socialist equality, and of course the children. To criticize their agenda is portrayed as being mean to Hispanics and poverty. But the Bible shows that this false compassion can actually hurt the poor.
A wicked man accepts a bribe in secret to pervert the course of justice. Proverbs 17:23. At this, the administrators and the satraps tried to find grounds for charges against Daniel in his conduct of governmental affairs, but they were unable to do so. They could find no corruption in him because he was trustworthy and neither corrupt nor negligent. Daniel 6:4. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, the teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat, so you must obey them and do everything they tell you. But do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. They tie up heavy loads and put them on men's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them. Matthew 23, 1 through 4. Jesus replied, and you, experts in the law, woe to you, because you load people down with burdens they can hardly carry, and you yourselves will not lift one finger to help them. Luke 2:46.
The Mexican government is well known for its corruption and negligence toward its people. Of course, companies like Tyson Food exploit illegals for the love of money. Yet you never hear any demand from the many Christian groups that the illegal exploiters pay for the housing, health care, education, and other necessities. That burden has been put up on the U.S. taxpayer, while the corrupt are rewarded. Just as in the time of Jesus, those in power still use this false compassion that ends up hurting others.
Mike Huckabee negotiated a $1.2 million Mexican consulate in Little Rock, rewarding a regime that has neglected thousands of its citizens to death. The result is more illegal immigration in Arkansas, along with criminal organizations like the Combaro restaurant chain. Rudy Giuliani protected the sanctuary city policy in New York that allows the next 9/11 terrorists to live in his city without fear of deportation. Terrorists along with illegals can thrive in sanctuary cities. McCain's comprehensive immigration bill would have blocked any chance of deportation for millions of illegals. Although McCain may be tough on the war on terror abroad, his plan would have made a problem that kills 25 Americans a day even worse.
It's good to have a candidate who stands for his faith against the secular bigots in the mainstream media. But what really matters the most is not what a candidate says they will do, or who endorses them, or what church they go to. What matters the most is what they did when they were in charge. In regards to immigration, the best place to go is to go to numbersusa.com, where you can see what these presidential candidates did for both parties. Compare their actions with what the Bible teaches before casting your vote.